What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Erin, and this is Erin on Demand, a community for entrepreneurs and content creators looking to build your brand, business, or content. And today, y'all, we are talking all about money. This has honestly been one of the most requested videos ever since this video, which is probably one of the biggest videos on my channel, all about how I saved $10,000 on a $30,000 salary. Now that I'm an entrepreneur, money looks so much different than it did when I was working a regular 9-to-5 job. Choosing whether or not to do it yourself or pay for the service. What are my spending habits? How do I save? How do I pay myself? All of those questions, I'm gonna try to get to them in this video. So if you're interested in that, then keep watching. The first biggest question is, should I pay for someone else to do this, or should I try to do it myself even though I really don't know what I'm doing? It depends. I'm gonna give you my rationale, and I just want to give a disclaimer that these are tips that worked for me. These are financial decisions that I made. I am by no means nobody's financial advisor, no licensed finance guru, so you can take this advice or leave it, whatever you want to do with it. But these are the things that work for me. So the first question is whether or not you should DIY something or pay for the service to be done by a professional. When I first started my business, there were lots of things that I, had to do myself because I didn't have the money to pay for it to be done. Or I just preferred not to spend the money, simply put, because I saved up a certain amount of money before I became an entrepreneur. And when you constantly see that money dwindling down, you start to think about money a lot differently. I decided to do my website on my own. I got a Squarespace template. I think it was like $14 a month to host my site on Squarespace. I bought the domain and I just used the template and put my website together on my own. Now, it wasn't anything super fancy. It was clean looking. I mean, it got the job done, but a year into being an entrepreneur, I decided it was time to invest and make the investment of an actual web designer and getting my website customized and built by a professional. And so I did just that. I hired a web designer, and it was a big investment, you guys. I don't necessarily recommend doing this early on before you start, only because your business can take shape in a completely different way than you expect it to, which is definitely what happened to me. So when I started this business, I had no idea that, YouTube was going to be a huge part of it. I had no idea that I was going to have a membership club. I just started because I wanted to help entrepreneurs tell their stories through video. And so I thought my company was going to be mainly like a video storytelling, video production type of company, and it has shaped to be something quite differently than what I came into entrepreneurship intending. So I would say if you're kind of still, trying to figure out the flow or the business model that you're going after, try to do your website on your own. There are tons of DIY website builders like Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, WordPress. It's a long list of them. Once I decided to invest in my website, it was because I needed something, a really robust tool that could work for me. Your website should almost be like an employee. It should be working for you around the clock. So now my website is able to host more people. It's able to do a lot more things. It's able to hold courses. It's able to do downloadables. It builds my email list for me. It does a lot of things, and it looks way better. It looks way more on brand. So I know I'm spending a lot of time on websites, but that is a big question and a big expense that a lot of people don't know whether they should hire or whether they should do it themselves. I say when you first start, do it yourself and save that money because it is a pretty heavy expense. Another thing that I had to choose whether or not it was worth spending on was contracts and figuring out like different trademarks and stuff like that. So legal stuff. I say that's worth spending on. You can kind of DIY contracts if you want. I would never suggest you go into business decisions without some sort of agreement, even if it's a casual agreement that you typed up that just kind of explains the scope of work and, the expectations, the price. You always want to have something written down, but once you do have more of a grip on your business, you're starting to get more clientele, you're starting to work with bigger budgets, or things are starting to take shape, I would recommend getting legal counsel and investing in that. In the very beginning, I didn't do that. I kind of DIY'd. I filed my own LLC. I, makeshifted my own contracts. I have a cousin who is a lawyer, so she kind of helped me structure it a little bit. But other than that, like, I didn't seek legal counsel before I started, but I definitely have an attorney now who is great. She's called the brand attorney. Her name's LaKanya Murray. I will link her information down below, but she's awesome. And if you have any questions on like copyrights, legal advice, creating contracts for your business, doing terms of use, privacy policies for your website, which is necessary, these are things that I think are worth the investment, because you don't want it to backfire on you. You don't want someone to steal your business idea. You don't want someone to basically steal your brand or your business that you've worked hard to build. So those are expenses that I think are beneficial to incur sooner rather than later. Another thing that I do is I pay for things up front, y'all, because you don't know when that money is coming back, okay? So I pay my car insurance up front. I pay for the whole 6 months at a time. I don't pay the monthly car insurance because I know that if I can eliminate as many bills as possible, that is so much better for me, because I don't want to have to think about it. And when my bank account starts getting low, I don't want to have to worry, is my insurance, can I pay my insurance? Can I do this? Can I do that? If I know that the core expenses of my business to keep it running are paid for up front, I feel so much better and it alleviates so much stress. So my website hosting, I paid like 3 years down the line because I know my website ain't going nowhere. Anything that I know for a fact that I'm going to continue paying, I pay up front, and that also saves me a lot of money. When it comes to like smaller softwares like, Later or Iconosquare, like social media schedulers or different automators that you use within your business, I like to test those out for a certain amount of time before I pay the annual price. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't do that with everything, but when it's something that I know for a fact I'm going to have to spend money on, without a doubt, I'm going to pay for it up front because I want to eliminate as many bills as possible. The next thing I do with managing my money as an entrepreneur is I cut back on a lot of frivolous stuff. My mindset has completely changed when it comes to money, and time and money aren't this like equal exchange like they are when you are clocking in and clocking out, or you work a salaried job. And like, y'all, it's nothing wrong with having a job, but it is a different mindset that you begin to take on when you are an entrepreneur, especially a startup entrepreneur. So some of the things that I have stopped doing, I can do them a little more liberally now, but when I first started, I cut back tremendously on pretty much everything. I was not getting my nails done, my hair done, doing my hair on my own, my nails on my own, or they just was looking a hot mess, to be quite honest. I was not shopping like that. If I did shop, it was always like, can I wear this to a speaking engagement? It was always more work-driven shopping, and more of like, this is a good investment to use, for something for work, and not like, oh, this is cute, let me buy this. So I stopped shopping a lot. If I did shop, it was always on sale. Happy hours, done. Weekend trips, no. Traveling, no. Unless it was something that I had planned well in advance to give me time to appropriately prepare for it. But I wasn't just hopping up and going anywhere. I still don't do that, y'all. I am not there yet. I used to have a gym membership at Lifetime. I cut that down, went to Planet Fitness for $10 a month instead of that $80, $75, $80 that I was paying a month at Lifetime. So just making those shifts, I saved hundreds of dollars a month just by cutting down and condensing some of those expenses. And we swipe, y'all. We swipe so much that it is just insane. So if you can just go into your mobile banking app, or print out your bank statement and just highlight the different things that you've spent your money on. Use a pen or a highlighter in different colors. Okay, blue is all the times I ate out. Green is all the times I went shopping. Yellow are all the times that, you know, I took trips or went on vacations or whatever. And you can really see how much money you are wasting. And it is just such an eye opener. I really encourage you to do that when you think you don't have enough money to pay for, you know, your legal fees or pay for a nice new camera or a new tripod or, you know, any of those startup costs. Really go in there and look and see, like, do I really have this money? Am I just not using it appropriately? Like, how can I condense my expenses to expand my startup my startup capital? The next major tip, and this is probably the most important tip, is to keep your business and your personal finances separate. So when I first started my business, before I actually started keeping real books using QuickBooks software, which I highly recommend, I began by categorizing all of my receipts in this folder. So I would have each month labeled January through December, and every month I would carry an envelope, and I still do this, carry an envelope in my purse and just dump any business receipts into that envelope. Whether I go get coffee, whatever, I track my mileage, whether I buy some new equipment or whatever it is, I keep the receipts in this folder. So at the end of the year, when it's time to do taxes, everything is in order. So this can work really well. I would say just track your expenses, whether you make an Excel spreadsheet and you track what's coming in from your business. So if you do a big project or if you're selling something and you track how much is coming in every month, and then you track what is going out. What are you spending on? Do you have fees for your website? Do you have, you know, equipment fees or whatever you're spending on your business? Keep those accounts separate because it makes life so much easier during tax season. And even if you're not at the point where you have a bookkeeper or need software like QuickBooks or any type of major bookkeeping or accounting software, you do want to have some systems in place to keep your finances organized. And this method works really, really well for me. There are lots of different bookkeeping softwares, but I can personally vouch for QuickBooks. That is what I use. My mom does all of my bookkeeping. She has a bookkeeping business for entrepreneurs. So if you need help with your books, you can contact my mom. I will leave her information in the description box below. Another thing is I bank with a credit union, so that helps minimize fees. Credit unions are awesome for small businesses. They tend to be more small business friendly. The biggest question is, how do you pay yourself? When do you start paying yourself? Well, fun fact, I still don't really pay myself a salary. I do have a monthly allowance, which allows me to pay my car notes and pay for groceries throughout the month. And this is a amount of money that me and my bookkeeper mom have decided is a good amount for me to spend every month. So it's not really a salary. Like, I don't consider myself to make like X amount of money yet, but it is an amount of money that I pay myself every month because I do not use my business account for personal expenses. All of my finances are separate. I have a business account, I have a personal account, and my business account, I get an allowance from that and put it into my personal account. It might not be the most luxurious amount of money, but it's something, and it's rewarding because you know that the work that you did is what is able to create the lifestyle that you're creating. Another thing that I want to stress, which is mainly to people who are working a traditional job and they want to become a full-time entrepreneur, is don't quit just yet, okay? And I did an Instagram post on this. I will show you the picture it is so you guys can go and read the caption because it resonated with so many people. You guys, take your time and dig deep if you are wanting to quit your job and become a full-time entrepreneur. When I started, like I said, I did not, you know, by choice become an entrepreneur. I kind of just fell into it. But I will say that it does something crazy to your brain when you see your money going away and you don't see any coming in. It puts you in a sense of high pressure. It makes you act on impulse. it's very uncomfortable, and it causes you to make very irrational decisions in your business, being so focused on when is my next dollar gonna come. Like, you can actually operate in business with a lot more peace and more of a sound and rationale mind, as opposed to just like hunting for your next dollar. And this is a conversation that another YouTuber, Vanessa Lau, she said in her finance video as well. Hey Vanessa. She talked about how she was a barista. Well, she talked about how she worked in corporate and she quit her job, and then while she was building her business, she became a barista at a coffee shop because she just still wanted to have something coming in, so that way at least you know, like, the bare necessities you can take care of. That is not something that I chose to do, but I do recommend, you know, transitioning out of your job. You know, as long as you can do both at the same time, do that. Think about it like this: when you just plunge into entrepreneurship like I did, it's kind of like getting married to someone that you just met on your wedding day. It's like you're plunging into this thing that you have no idea what you're getting into, and it can be very, very daunting. So I always recommend, like, date your business. You know what I'm saying? Get to know your business, get to know yourself as an entrepreneur, because it is a completely different, it creates a completely different type of you, because you're now operating in a way that you've never operated before. So that is just my little pep talk. So if you are thinking about quitting your job, I'm not telling you don't quit ever or don't quit at all, but figure out a way to create some sort of financial stability in your life, because entrepreneurship does not guarantee any sort of stable financial structure. And so that will really help alleviate some of the pressures you feel on making your next dollar, which can cause you to act and do irrational things. Not like that, but it can cause you to, you know, make irrational business decisions. The story is, it does take money to make money. Just really assess your time with your money. If you break down your finances and realize you make $100 in a day, and you decide to splurge and like go on this massive vacation like for $1,000, like, look at that in terms of time. Like, wow, it took me, you know, 10 days to do this. Like, is this vacation really worth it? Do I really want to spend this money right now? Start thinking of things in terms of time and money, even with your, you know, your salary job or your hourly job. These are important, just mindset tips for money management. And again, if you guys want to check out the last video, I have a couple of videos on money, but I will link them in the cards and in the description box below, just on how to save better, how to stop spending so much. Your girl got you, okay? I got you. If you're interested in subscribing and being part of my internet home, honey, you are welcome, okay? We are here. So whether or not you subscribe right now, we're gonna be here. And you know what? The YouTube algorithm, if you made it through this video, they're gonna keep popping my stuff up on your homepage. So you might as well just subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell. If you guys want more finance videos, give this video a thumbs up. The question for today is, what challenges are you having with managing your finances in your business? I want to know, okay? And on that note, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.